Namaste, angels. I'm here to do like a random reading kind of on Black Moon Lilith in Leo. So the new moon that we just experienced the other day was actually a black moon. It's a somewhat rare celestial event. I remember we had one back in like 2017. It was in Scorpio. And that one was crazy. And probably like within like an hour or so after me doing my video that weekend about that event, it wasn't just about that event. It was like my general reading for the week. But I talked about Black Moon Lilith and Scorpio and how destructive the energy could be. And I probably got like 6 different calls or emails or some sort of contact from clients who had been cohabitating and living with their partner, divine masculine, and he picked up and moved. Like, I was hearing this story over and over again that all of a sudden he had packed up all his things and left the house and moved. And one of them, a couple of them came to me like for private readings after that themselves. And one of them ended up being one of my first Divine Light Cleanse clients. And it's funny, with her, I saw that yes, it's a toxic energy, but like it's going to pass probably like in a few weeks, and then things are going to be much better. Well, sure enough, not only did the toxic energy pass, and this man had picked up, left his house, moved in with another woman that had like 5 kids, and was, supposedly committed to helping her raise her kids, and totally moved on from the woman that was my client. And I don't know, maybe like a month passed. I think it was around 6 weeks. Don't you know they got married? the original couple, he came. Not only did he come back, but they got married, and they're still married today. So when I realized that this moon, new moon, was a black moon, I meant to mention it in my the reading that I did the other day. And I'm not sorry that I didn't, because I was happy with that new moon reading that I did, and I think those that have seen it have been very happy with it. But I did want to come back to you and talk about the black moon, especially since I've been experiencing some weird things too. So similar to what I said in the new moon reading in Leo that I did, you might want to check that one out. Also, if you have not seen it already, I'm having some problems with YouTube, and I just learned that 99.5% of my views come from external sources. So like if I share the fact that I posted a video on Facebook, people click on that and see my video. Only 0.03% of my views and things, activity, is coming from within YouTube. That means very rarely will somebody like see that like I'm recommended to watch my video or something like that, or my subscribers will get a notification. I also learned that, speaking of my subscribers, of them all, only like 1,000, according to YouTube, have their notifications properly set where they are going to receive all the notifications and everything. It's just really, really bad. So one of the things they told me to do was to make more videos. They said, you used to make like 166 videos in a period of 6 months, and now you're down to 90, I think it was like 98 or something. And I'm like, okay, I'll make more videos. So that's that's one of the reasons why I'm not sorry about the moon reading. I think it came out as it should. And it was a really good video, and I hope that this is a good video too. So let's get into what Black Moon in Leo is about, beginning with the 8 of Wands. Now the card says events moving at a fast pace, delays are over, many things are happening at once. And that's a nice summary for it. In general, this can mean like it just might like seem like a lot of things have been up in the air for you. And like you're tired of waiting for something to jump off. And it may, like, it's just like the appearance that nothing's happening and stuff is going on behind the scenes when this card shows up. Also, like at work, you could be waiting for some sort of decision that other people are going to have to make. This card showing up is saying that it's probably going to be a good outcome. So if you're looking for, I don't know, a raise, promotion, some sort of, what would be good news that you're waiting for somebody else from work to tell you? maybe that you're coming back to work, that the place is reopening, or because a lot of people have been on furlough or laid off and stuff like that. So all those things could be possible in terms of work. And one of the readings I did the other day, it was that somebody's job hadn't even started yet. Like let's say you were hired and then this COVID thing happened. So either you barely got to work, like you only worked a few days, and then you were out of a job again, or you never even got to start because that happened and then your job was set aside. So for some of people like that, some of your jobs were starting in this reading that I had done the other day. So that's another possibility. In terms of spirituality, there could be a lesson in here for you that you need to spend some time with yourself and get better about patience and stillness. You're antsy, and maybe you're antsy because you're an air sign, because we have that problem in general. In love, this can be about like you want a commitment, or the person that's with you wants a commitment, and whomever is the one that's wanting it, like the other one's taking too long, from this person's standpoint. And that's another situation where you're going to need to learn patience. Then we have the Knight of Swords here, Prince of Winter. He is decisive, focused, driven, and impulsive. A Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, who, again, we get very, very antsy about stuff, tend to have like anxiety issues, or to be speedy, as if we're like on something. Get ready for progress to speed up. This situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion, and to make your decisions quickly. So whereas it seems like there's nothing happening, you're going to find out that not only has stuff been happening, but now all of a sudden you got to jump to it. And similar to what I said about this card with work, like you're waiting for a decision or something, the Knight of Swords tends to be about a decision that one has to make, or is awaiting, or both. Like sometimes we need to wait for information so that when we get it, we can take some kind of action. And I'm just going to mention that also the next card, it is upside down, but it is the moon. So again, this is a kind of like a moon reading, although I already did the moon reading. This is about Black Moon Lilith. Major Arcana card 18, the moon represents the sign of Pisces. It's important to trust your intuition, even if you're unsure of what's happening. All will be revealed soon, so worry is unnecessary. This is really about paying attention to your intuition. So like if you're paranoid that things are not going on, and like your intuition is telling you to chill out, your intuition is telling you that progress is being made in some sort of area of your life, your intuition is telling you everything's going to be okay, your intuition is telling you you got to take action in order for things to be okay, like there's a step, there's something you need to do, whatever it's telling you, the idea is to follow through, even if you don't exactly know why am I doing this? What does it ultimately mean? You can't see that far ahead. You can't see the future, but you're still supposed to trust yourself and trust your inner knowing and go with it. So that's why the moon shows up. Also, a very feminine energy could be connected to one's mother, or that kind of maternal, nurturing kind of energy. And since the Knight of Swords is here, I'll just mention the next cards are actually the Ten of Swords, which is about an end of difficulty, betrayal, some crappy situations through which you've been going, those coming to an end. It's the ends of a career path or relationship, and that brings feelings of mixed joy and sadness, relief and disappointment. Put aside your fears about these changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. And again, an air sign may be involved. The King of Swords also here. He is brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice and balance mental and emotional considerations. A Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, like the Knight of Swords. Also here, upright behind these, is the Knight of Pentacles. So maybe this isn't really so much about, let's say, a Gemini, as it is about the planet Mercury, right? Ruler of the signs of Gemini and Virgo, which we're entering now. And the Knight of Earth is indeed a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. He's loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. It's time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. And then we have the Hermit. Major Arcana card 9, the Hermit, also represents the energy of Virgo. Spend time in quiet meditation. Remember I said you got to get used to stillness. That's what the Eight of Wands is about. You got to be okay being alone and being still by yourself. And I know it's easier said than done, especially for like an air sign or maybe somebody Mercury ruled that's all in their head and everything. But spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. That's about enlightenment and clarity. And then we've come like full circle because now we're back to the Knight of Wands, which is that Leo energy with which we began. Passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Like I said, things are going to speed up, although they may feel like nothing's happening. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. Knight of Wands, a Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Of course, I can keep going like this forever. The next card is the Four of Swords. Then we have another King of Swords. Then we have the King of Pentacles. Then we have the King of Wands. So as you can see, it's these three energies being repeated over and over and over again. We've seen no water thus far. And here's another card about what? Spending time with yourself. I lied. We haven't not seen any water. We have the moon here. Moon represents the sign of Cancer. That's the water. Also, again, a card about intuition. Here's another card that's indicative of the need to sit with oneself. Here's another 8. Right? 8's about searching for something higher, looking for something deeper, more meaningful, like maybe a different change, a change in your relationship with another person, a change in your relationship with yourself. You feel that there's more to life than what you're living. So it's time to move on. You may be moving from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you're in control. So that's the 8 of Cups. And again, I could keep going like this forever. I'm not going to, though. But this is, speaking of Gemini, here we have Major Arcana card 6, the Lovers, which represents the sign of Gemini. Can be about a relationship like, you know, true love, or what you believe to be true love, genuine love, is what this is representative of, and or the need to make a decision. So we've seen that also. It's a heart versus head decision. Like my heart is telling me to do one thing. My intuition is telling me to do one thing. My head, logic, Mercury is telling me, no, that doesn't make sense. Do this. The idea or the guidance, or at least my guidance to you, follow the heart when that happens. True and long-lasting love finds its way into your life. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices. And again, we're continuing to repeat these energies. Is another Knight of Pentacles. So I'm going to stop at this Knight of Pentacles, except for the fact that they're showing me another Four of Swords. I'm going to stop at this Knight of Pentacles, put all these cards, mix all these cards in here, and then do a spread. Now this spread is going to be about Black Moon Lilith. What is Black Moon Lilith about? Toxic relationships in large part. So I talked about this again in the moon reading, a couple of the readings that I've been doing for the past couple of weeks, the general, the love, you know, I've been saying there's like no middle ground here is what keeps coming up in the cards. Things are going to work out with this relationship, or people are going to like walk away from each other. There's nothing in the middle. It's very clear. And that's what I'm seeing here too. We'll see what the cards say, though. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. The Knight of Pentacles is trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. And again, a Virgo, Capricorn. I just saw the Devil. They're just showing me these energies over and over again, and he's another Hermit. You see, I just opened right to it. Hermit, Devil. Right when I'm talking about it. Another 8 of Wands. Right here. That's the Tower. Just open to the Tower and through the... that could be somebody's relationship coming down. So, while I'm doing this, we'll talk about Black Moon Lilith. So, I was having a conversation with one of my clients recently. She's been having some struggles with her... There's another Tower. Just open to the Tower again. With her mother, and I keep opening to the King of Swords, the Hermit, same cards over and over. Her mother, her sister, her son. And I said to her, you know, there's a lot of us that have those problems. I have a lot of clients that, you know, are not speaking to their children, or vice versa. Their children aren't speaking to them. My own mother and sister didn't talk for like 10 years. I have my own issues with my younger sister right now. And a lot of those things could be coming to a head right about now. In part, I mean, we talked about other transits that would contribute to something like this too, but in part because of this Black Moon Lilith in Leo, which can really be about like the worst of the traits of Leo. And so we've done some talking about those too, like the confidence that Leo is known to show, that some of us may sometimes be envious of, because we need that. But when it goes too far, it becomes what, like, ego, arrogance, and that's not attractive. That's not what we would want to emulate. And it's those kind of traits, arrogance, selfishness, ego, different kinds. I can't make this up. This is the card with which we started. After all the little shuffling and stuff I did, it was back. So we remained in the suit of Earth with Major Arcana card 5, Unity, or the Hierophant. Embrace this time of deep spiritual growth. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. You may feel called to act as a mentor, to find a new teacher, because you're looking for your tribe. And I talked about looking for one's tribe last week too, I think in the general. Maybe the moon, I don't remember. Or spend time with others who are also on a sacred path. I think it was the Leo new moon reading. I talked about looking for one's tribe. So here's another 8. We're going to be seeing a lot of these. The 8 of Swords. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. So you're not stuck in these toxic relationships. Even if these people are your family members and you say, how do I get away from them? How could you not speak to your child? How could you not speak to your mother? There's still a way out of every situation. But yeah, it's easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of self-confidence, like the healthy confidence of like a Leo, if you first affirm your freedom. So that's important too. And it's interesting because the opposite of Leo is Aquarius. And Aquarius is all about freedom. And one of the things that I've always feel about, people see the Hierophant and they get excited because it means commitment, it means contracts, people start thinking about marriage and, moving in together and homes and higher institutions like going to school and learning something. But for me, it's also always meant possible adjustments to the people, places, and things with which we surround ourselves. We may have to cut people off. And so that's a major meaning for me with the Hierophant. So having it here coupled with the 8 of Swords, upright, talking about, feeling stuck in these toxic relationships. I think the cards are already cooperating with me as to what messages I was, receiving, downloading before I started this and what initiated me to start this. So one of the things that I want to do, though, is explain what a black moon is. And for that, I'm not going to talk to you off the top of my head, but rather read something from space.com, www.space.com, which explains so that I get it right. A black moon. The black moon is a somewhat unusual celestial event. They occur about once every 32 months. So that's like over 2 years, like 3 years on average. So it makes sense that I said one happened in 2017. It was the black moon Lilith in Scorpio. They sometimes only occur in certain time zones. The new moon occurring on Tuesday, August 18th is a black moon. Officially, it occurs at 10:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or August 19th GMT time. The next black moon won't arrive until April 30th, 2022. And it will be the second new moon in a single calendar month. The next black moon, by the seasonal definition of the term, will occur on May 19th, which is Malcolm X's birthday, in the year 2023. At its new moon phase, the new moon is always black. It happens at that time of the month when the moon passes through the same part of the sky as the sun, and as such, the moon's dark or unilluminated side faces Earth. So there is really nothing to see. Actually, that's not always true, since there are times when the new moon passes directly between the Earth and the sun, and Earthlings can then see the moon's black silhouette crossing in front of the sun, causing a solar eclipse. If you've ever wondered where the term new moon originated, it simply refers to the start of the new lunar cycle. The time frame from one new moon to the next is called a synodic month, which on average lasts 29.53 days. This is the period because of the moon's phases, because the moon's appearance depends on the position of the moon with respect to the sun as seen from Earth. The word synodic is derived from the Greek word meaning synodikos, which means meeting. For at new moon, the moon meets the sun. But unlike a supermoon, which gets countless numbers of people scurrying for vantage points to see a slightly larger and slightly brighter than average full moon, with a black moon, you simply can't see it. A couple of evenings later, however, you will be able to pick out a slender sliver of a waxing crescent moon low in the western twilight about 30 to 40 minutes after sunset local time. Some people mistakenly refer to the appearance of any thin lunar crescent as the new moon. This fallacy has even spread into popular literature. In his classic work, A Night to Remember, about the sinking of the Titanic, author Walter Lord quotes a fireman in a lifeboat who caught sight of a narrow crescent low in the dawn sky and exclaimed, "A new moon!" And it goes on and on to talk about other stuff. I think you get the idea, right? It's the fact that we had a third new moon in so little time that makes it a black moon. So back to Black Moon Lilith specifically for our purposes and from me, some themes that may come up in the cards or that you may see in your actual real life can be anything from like abuses of power, again, selfishness, arrogance, ego, toxicity, betrayal from a loved one, poor relationships with children. Could be children in general. It doesn't have to necessarily be your children. Something could come up. Maybe if you're a teacher, or I don't know why you would have to be around children if you're not a teacher, but other reasons, not just teacher. That's just all that's coming to me right now. Again, in relationships, romantic relationships, just nasty, toxic, ugly, love stories, love relationships. They can be passive, aggressive, like people with this actually in their chart, Black Moon Leo. It can come across as in a passive aggressive kind of way, and just the person just like having no integrity, like no dignity about them anymore. Very hypocritical behavior. And then from a more active, as opposed to passive aggressive, a more actively aggressive kind of energy is somebody who, just doing way too much, delusions of grandeur, thinking just way too highly of themselves in like a negative kind of way. Something can, and I'm still seeing the children, and that may be why we're seeing so much lately about, or another reason why we're seeing so much lately about like pedophilia and the sex trafficking, like all this stuff is coming, like rising to a head. I saw an article in the paper today actually where they were saying like more associates of Trump's are believed to be involved in sex trafficking and all this kind of stuff. In a more personal situation, you could see men having children by like several different women. Maybe the kids are the same age. I have a brother that's the same age as my sister, like that kind of thing. You may be seeing that. This one was pregnant at the same time as this one. This one is pregnant also. And on the opposite spectrum of that, we may be seeing some infertility. I don't know like how it might show itself in the cards, but again, in people's real lives, we could be seeing infertility. That's one of the ways that Lilith can show up. I wanted to explain a little bit about Lilith too. Let me just lay some cards. I think I'll do it this way. So we'll have the masculine and the feminine. And the shared energy. Lilith, or originally Lilith 2, in like ancient Egypt and Samaria, is said to be responsible for things like infertility and miscarriage and our periods and toxic relationships and not being able to find the right partner. It takes, 1, 2, 3 relationships before you can find the right partner. One of the things that's said is that the name even Lilith comes from the word Lil, which in Hebrew tradition means, what does it mean? I think it was darkness and shadows, which it may mean that nighttime also, which that may be correct. It may mean that, but it doesn't really make sense to me that that's on what Lilith would be based, because like I said, Lilith 2 comes before Lilith, and Lilith 2 is the ancient Egypt and the Sumerian version. So why would they be using a word derived from Hebrew? It doesn't really make sense to me. Lilith 2 is that owl-footed goddess that you'll see being posted all over the place over every Easter, as they'll say that that's the goddess Easter and Ishtar, and it's not. They always like display the owl-footed goddess with the little owls sitting next to her. That's Lilith 2, and you can Google that and you'll find out that I'm correct. And maybe you won't share that meme this coming Easter. So again, this spread is going to be about focusing on those toxic relationships that you have. If you don't have any, then, maybe this reading isn't even for you. I'm talking about people that are having a toxic relationship with a mate or an ex, or again, a parent, a child of theirs, or something like that. What's going to happen with that relationship, and or maybe if you don't realize that there's a toxic relationship around you, how that may manifest and surface in the near future, and go. So again, beginning with the masculine, crowning the masculine, we have, it's another Knight of Wands. Again, the Knight of Wands is an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. He is passionate, charismatic, confident, and restless. An opportunity arises that needs your attention right away. Moving quickly is important, yet there's nothing that you can't handle if you follow your own inner guidance. Masculine is surrounded by, and this is another card that has an energy of fire for me. Major Arcana card 21, the World. It feels like fire. It's about something having come full circle, something coming to an end. It is in your favor that this thing is coming to an end. You're going to be eased out of that situation and eased into one that's better fitting, better suited to you. So it could be a toxic, negative relationship. You're being the universe, karmic energy coming in to pull you out of that. But again, it's not like the Tower where it's abrupt. It's an easing out. So it requires patience. So think back to our overall energy of the Eight of Wands and how the Eight of Wands kept showing up. And I said, like, that appears like nothing's going on in the surface and it's behind the scenes. So it requires patience. It's that kind of energy. You may not realize what the universe is doing behind the scenes on your behalf. So it just looks like you're waiting for this to be over these difficult relationships that you're experiencing, but they are coming to an end. Congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you've set out to do. You've made it through the challenges and incorporated the lessons that life offered you with grace and courage. Masculine subconscious, the Four of Wands. So he wants a peaceful, happy household. This is what's in his mind, right? His subconscious mind, or even his conscious mind, potentially, what he's thinking about. He wants joy, contentment, peace, right? Maybe even commitment with somebody, happy relationships. It's time to kick back, to relax, and to celebrate all that you have. Joy arises from success in your career, the completion of a project, or a very happy home life. And the Four of Wands is all about that. So we see we have all of this is the wands, or the fire energy, that element of Leo, where this black moon was located. Crowning the feminine, major arcana card 20, renewal or judgment, represents the planet Pluto in the sign of Scorpio most directly. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make changes so that you're on the path most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been in terms of relationships, or in yourself, forgiving yourself and the other people or person involved. Forgive what has been without judgment. So leave like the guilt and the blame and stuff. Like, it has to be a genuine forgiveness. Fearlessly embrace what's to come. Just like the moon said, like, even though you don't know what's ahead, trusting your intuition, just moving forward fearlessly. Surrounding the and also for relationships, or for anything really, judgment can be about second time around. So maybe a better time for a relationship is coming around. We can try this again. We're getting another chance. We're getting a second opportunity. Another meaning is also coming to a crossroad and deciding, like, where do we go from here, if anywhere? And sometimes we're going to continue. We're going to go all the way. And sometimes it's the end of the road and we're done, right? But again, judgment is another positive card that is about abundance that's earned. So whatever it is that's coming to you, it's a blessing. It's positive. Of course, it's major arcana card 20. So it's a 2, and 2s are very much about partnership. So relationships. Surrounding the feminine, it is that Virgo energy again. The Page of Pentacles. Cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous. A wonderful opportunity related to your work or education, such as a promotion or a scholarship, is coming your way. Seize this chance to learn something exciting or to start a more rewarding and uplifting career. So that's one thing. Maybe somebody's going to turn their focus toward money or the material and tangible, because then we're not going to focus on relationships. Like, just keep your life, like, you work on yourself. It's kind of like what that's saying. And don't worry about relationships. If you look at these 2 cards, again, this is about abundance that you deserve, that's earned, that's coming to you. And then here it is. Here's another message and news of some sort of abundance that's coming to you that could very well be financial or material abundance. So it's saying, like, do you focus on your work, grow your business, all of that. Like, don't worry about relationships. Also, specifically with regard to relationships, the Page of Autumn, isn't the most romantic card, actually. If you're single, it can be about, like, holding on to your ex or to some other, like, old feelings. So you got to look back to this. Remember, this says release judgment, or what did it say? Forgiveness. Forgive what has been without judgment. So it's telling you not to hold on to stuff, but that could be what the Page of Pentacles means, especially like I said, if you're single, like, why? If you're single and you don't want to be, like, why? Like, what are you holding on to that's blocking you from a relationship? And a lot of times it's something from a previous relationship, an ex or something. If you are in a relationship, it's probably turned into a dud with the Page of Pentacles showing up. And it's one of those times where you got to review and assess. Do I want to save this relationship, continue to grow it, fix it? Then both people have to want that. So you got to go back to this again. Partnership. Both people agree on that. Then we're going to work on it. We're going to put some effort and get what we deserve out of it. If we're not in agreement to both put the energy into it the way that it needs, then it may be time for it to come to an end. And we have the world mirroring that. Maybe need to be eased out of that relationship. Feminine subconscious. We want the same things though: happiness, love, being surrounded by, people that we care about. It's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on a happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and balanced children. Crowning. Pages, the Knight of Swords is also back. So there's a decision that has to be made again. Or, at least one of us is needing to make a decision. Get ready for progress to speed up. This situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion and to make your decisions quickly. And again, maybe Mercury may be involved. Venus may be involved. Venus, ruler of Taurus. And again, Gemini, Libra also. Capricorn can be involved too. It's a court card, so it can be any of those earth signs maybe. And then in this case, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Again, somebody likened to those traits or attributes may be particularly significant. At the heart of the matter, boom. The Eight of Wands, which we started. This is what it's all about. It seems like nothing's going on around us, but yeah, things are happening. Oh, I didn't check I didn't check the root card, the root energy. But look what it is. Boom again. It's the moon. It's important to trust your intuition, even if you're unsure of what's happening. All will be revealed soon, so worry is unnecessary. Y'all saw me shuffle. Y'all saw me cut into about 25 different piles and deal these cards out in front of you while I was talking. So, very, again, organically, all the cards that we had already seen came back, and this is crazy here. But that's the Black Moon Lilith energy that we were talking about. I will go around, just for the sake of it and of extra messages, with another layer. It's always been my method of reading, and other people that have stolen it online have also named it layering. So let's do that. So clarifying this page of spring, the Knight of Wands is the Ace of Swords. So it could be a situation, again, involving a fire energy, maybe a direct fire sign, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, and something getting to some sort of truth of the matter or a victory over somebody, getting what you want. Your name being cleared is a possibility. Brilliant new ideas and inspiration, seeing the truth of a situation, and a challenging beginning. The challenging beginning because we had a difficulty before. So it's like we're off the heels of betrayal or hurt or separation, or combinations of those. Surrounding the masculine, clarifying the world is the Six of Swords. So again, things getting better now. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation. That difficult situation I was just describing, yeah, it's coming to an end. Some of us may even be taking a trip. But again, it's atop the world. So don't expect it to be better overnight. Expect things to get better and look forward to them getting better and know that the worst is behind you. But don't expect full change tomorrow when you wake up in the morning. And then clarifying the Four of Wands is Major Arcana card 5, Unity, or the Hierophant. Also repeating itself, again, represents the sign of Taurus. Traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual organizations, and seek out mentors and like-minded friends. Again, this is about contracts and commitments. And I think in this case, in this placement in the top, the Four of Wands, this is again about wanting to be happy, wanting to be, in committed relationships with people that you can trust, loyal, people that are loyal, friends that are loyal, romantic interests that are loyal, partners, mates, family members that wouldn't stab you in the back. And wanting to surround yourself with people like that. For the feminine clarifying Major Arcana card, Judgment, up there, it is the Ten of Swords. The end of a difficult situation, again, as we talked about. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Somebody may even be recovering from an addiction, but this is a card, again, of betrayal. Maybe we're going to have a second chance with somebody who betrayed us, or with somebody who we betrayed, or maybe it didn't really happen, but maybe somebody feels betrayed by us, or we feel betrayed by somebody. And that's enough, right, where it warrants attention. So we could be getting a second chance in some of those scenarios, or again, we're coming to a crossroad and deciding we're done here. Clarifying the Page of Pentacles. It's another card of abundance. Major Arcana card 10, the Wheel. A time of positive change. A situation suddenly moves forward and fortune is on your side. So if it's that situation where you're single, and you finally move forward on releasing what was holding you back. And that's the Ten of Swords. That's why you're getting over that stuff. You're getting over betrayal and things from before. And you're moving on. If it's a situation where you were in a committed relationship that's turned into a dud, it's lost its then you're either fixing that or you're ending the relationship. So either way, it's a win, right? Major Arcana card, the Wheel, represents the planet Jupiter and the sign of Sagittarius, which it rules. But also, this energy is connected to the fixed signs. Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio. There was a Scorpio card here a minute ago too, right? And Leo. How could I forget? Leo, yes. Fortune is on your side. So that we have that other meaning too, where I said that fortune was on your side and somebody maybe is about to get a financial and or material blessing. And that's on what you're meant to focus right now and just forget about relationships at the moment. That's positive for you too. Feminine subconscious, clarifying the 10 of Cups. The 4 of Cups, missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibility. So again, if you have an opportunity, if you get a second chance, don't lie to yourself and pretend that you don't want to take it and let it pass you by. And don't lack the confidence and or the ability to let go of your pride or ego or arrogance or those negative emotions that could present in any one of us. It's not like just for masculine or just for the feminine. This Black Moon Lilith can show up in anybody, and some of us may actually have it in our chart. Don't let that be something that holds you back and keeps you away from this feeling that you want, being surrounded by love. Crowning the Knight of Swords, speaking of the sign of Leo, is Major Arcana card 11, which is another 2. Again, also about partnerships and things. Strength, which represents the sign of Leo. Great inner strength. Check this out. Release harsh judgments. What is this sitting right next to? Judgment. And what does that card say? Release and forgive. Forgiveness and compassion is what you need. So that may mean what you need to make a decision to do. I'm making a conscious decision to let this stuff go so that I can move on in my life. And then everything will pick up. Like when we release, when people tell you, girl or man, as soon as I made that move and I finally decided, I made the conscious decision to focus on this and to make an intention and to do that and to get, everything started falling into place. I'm sure you heard that story before. It's true. It really happens that way. But we have to let go of what's blocking us from that in the meantime. That's what this is about. At the root, a foundation, here clarifying the moon. Boom. It's the 2 of Wands. This is all about partnership. And the fire element, the Leo energy. You've come into your own new partnerships or contracts. Why? This is what I say. This is the Hierophant. It's about contracts and it's about partnerships. And I said, you may have to make some adjustments, get some new ones. The people, places, and things with which you surround yourself. This is saying, yeah, people are going to do that. That's what's going to help them to improve the situation. Come into your own new partnerships or contracts. Continue to move forward. Again, focus on you. Keep it moving forward. Don't worry about the past and this betrayal and all that kind of stuff. Let that stuff go. And let those people go if you can't fix it. And lastly, at the heart of the matter, boom. It's another Knight of Pentacles. This means this has been coming for a while. We've been building on this. And we're finally here. I think not only because we just experienced this moon, and the way that I do my moon readings, I usually focus on about 2 weeks, although the energy can last longer than that. Between that and the fact that we just entered the energy of Virgo, and we've seen all these 8s, I really think that for the most part, this is not like, a far off thing. I think we're really going to see some changes in our connections to people, and we're going to make some decisions like, that's it, I'm done. I'm not giving any more energy to this. I'm cutting myself off from this, or that's it, I'm done. I'm going to commit to this fully, whichever applies. I think we're doing that within Virgo season. It's important to make a detailed plan. I think we're at least doing this, right? We're at least getting our ducks in a row, making a decision as to how we want to move. You got to make that detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action, right? So as soon as we have the plan in place, then we can turn into the Knight of Swords and take off. You can get as much accomplished as possible. So again, on top of that, an earth sign may be particularly significant. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Further advice to the masculine here. It's another card of victory. You had the Ace of Swords already, and now you got the Six of Wands. You may receive a promotion, be chosen for a scholarship, or find that you're singled out for special recognition. You've done an amazing job and you deserve all the attention. So like I said before, for some of you, that this can be about like clearing your name in some kind of situation. Six of Wands can definitely be about that. It's like when it says special recognition, it's like your name is coming up. It's ringing bells in some kind of way. And maybe if there was negative talk about it before that was inappropriate, then it's being corrected in public too. You know, it's that kind of thing. If there was gossip that went around that people heard, they're going to hear the correct version too now. And that may be how you're able to move forward. For the feminine, and if it's something else, it's still a card of victory. So it's you winning something. Yeah, you have the edge over somebody or something here with this. And then for the feminine, boom, Major Arcana card 3, the Empress. We talked about abundance. Here's more abundance, maybe even a bundle. And or maybe something again, so going on with somebody's mother. That could be with whom we've had the problematic relationship, or a mother figure or maternal figure. And this can also be about taking care of ourselves, focusing on ourselves instead of on relationships. It's time to hop into action. Use your natural creativity to bring forth prosperity and success in your life. Major Arcana card 3, the Empress, represents the planet Venus, ruler of the signs of Taurus, Libra, the Knight of Swords is under here, and Gemini, again, Knight of Swords. Hope you guys have enjoyed this impromptu reading. I plan to keep coming back with more. That's what YouTube says I need to do. So every time I move to do one, I'm going to be back here. Namaste.